Hi, all. This is episode 52 of the Italian Americans in Hollywood podcast series. I'm Daley Giacopella, and my co-host is Sadie Bruni. You know her as the ever-optimistic Ellen Griswold from the National Lampoon's Vacation movies, but today we're talking about the amazing Beverly D'Angelo.
Oh, yeah. There's so much more to her than just the vacation movies.
Definitely.
Mm,
So much to uncover about her career. It really goes way beyond those family comedies.
absolutely.
Okay, so she was born in Columbus, Ohio back in 1951. Both of her parents were musicians. Her dad, a bassist and TV station manager. And her mom played the violin. You could definitely see those artistic roots in Beverly's career, don't you think?
I think it's interesting how those early influences can really shape us. I mean, even though she didn't become a musician herself, she did start her career as a singer. Did you know she was a backup vocalist for a band called Hawk?
I did not know that. That's a great point. It really highlights how her career wasn't just this straight line to Hollywood. For a while, she was even an illustrator. It's
No.
not your typical path to stardom, is it?
No, not at all. And speaking of unconventional, she moved to Canada to pursue theater. She didn't go to some fancy drama school. It seems like it was just pure talent.
Yeah. That's pretty amazing when you think about it. Just
Yeah.
jumping right in and learning by doing. You can see how that might have shaped her acting style.
Yeah.
It's not always about the most traditional route.
Right. It's about finding what works for you.
It seems like those early years really laid the groundwork for her versatility. I mean, her first on-screen appearances were in the mid-70s doing TV shows like Captains and the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
But then that same year, she makes her film debut in a horror movie, The Sentinel. What a contrast.
It really shows how she wasn't afraid to experiment with different genres right from the start.
Yeah.
That kind of range is pretty rare to see so early in a career. She could have easily gotten typecast, but she really seemed determined to explore every avenue.
Yeah, and that brings us to the role that I think most people probably know her for, Ellen Griswold, in the 1983 classic National Lampoon's Vacation. That performance made her a comedic icon.
Oh, for sure. I mean, she brought such warmth and relatability to that character.
Hmm.
You know, the Griswolds might be a little chaotic, but you can't help but root for them.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that comes from Beverly's performance.
It's true. It would have been easy to ride that comedic wave. But just 3 years before Vacation, she took on the role of Patsy Cline in Coal Miner's Daughter.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge leap from slapstick comedy, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's the perfect example of her range. Portraying a real-life singer like Patsy Cline comes with a whole other set of challenges.
Right.
And she totally nailed it. She even got a Golden Globe nomination for Best Supporting Actress for that role.
That's incredible.
That puts her in the running with some of the biggest names in Hollywood.
It really is a testament to her talent.
It is. I mean, it's a recognition of the artistry and skill involved in acting.
Speaking of showcasing her musical talent, she was also in the 1979 film adaptation of the musical Hair. So we've got her singing background, her comedic timing, and her dramatic chops all coming together.
And that's what makes her so fascinating to me. She's constantly pushing boundaries and defying expectations. She could have easily just been pigeonholed as, the comedic wife, but she just consistently proved she was capable of so much more.
And she wasn't just appearing in these movies. She was making an impact. In Lonely Hearts, a 2006 drama, she played the mother of a serial killer. It's a pretty dark role, far removed from the lighthearted Ellen Griswold persona.
Yeah, that's a really good example of her willingness to explore those complexities of human nature. I think for some actors, it's about, playing it safe. But for her, it seems to be more about taking on roles that are really going to challenge her and push her to grow as an actress. And I think you don't see that kind of fearlessness from every performer.
I agree. We could spend hours just talking about her film roles alone,
Yeah.
over 60 throughout her entire career.
Wow.
But we can't forget about her work in television. She's been in over 30 different series, from Entourage to Mom, again showing that range.
It's really incredible. It's a real testament to her work ethic and her dedication. To have that kind of longevity in such a notoriously difficult industry, it's impressive. She's clearly driven by a passion for her craft.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And remember how we talked about her musical background? Well, she hasn't just limited herself to singing in movies and on stage. She's actually recorded music in all kinds of styles over the years. It seems like she's constantly exploring different creative avenues.
It's like she's never satisfied to just rest on her laurels. She's always looking for new challenges and finding ways to express her artistic voice. And, at 72 years old, she was still going strong. She recently appeared in Violent Night in 2022.
That's incredible. Talk about refusing to be defined by age. It really makes you wonder, what is its secret to her longevity? I mean, Hollywood can be pretty unforgiving, especially for women.
That's true. I I think it comes down to a few things. Obviously, she's incredibly talented,
Mm.
but she also seems to have a genuine love for what she does. It's not just a job for her, it's a passion, and that passion is contagious.
You can really feel that energy coming through in her performances. It's like she's inviting us all to join her on this creative journey. She's
Yeah.
not just an actress. She's an artist in the truest sense of the word.
I completely agree. And on top of all of that, she's a passionate advocate for the arts and for education.
Mhm.
She supports these programs that really nurture creativity in young people. She understands how important it is to foster that artistic spirit.
It's one thing to be talented, but it's another thing to actually use that talent to make a difference in the world.
Yeah.
She can easily just focus on her own career,
Right.
but she chooses to give back and to inspire the next generation of artists.
It shows that generosity of spirit that she has. It's clear that it's not just about the fame or the fortune for her. She genuinely cares about the arts, and she wants to see them thrive.
So we've got this incredible actress, a talented singer, and a passionate advocate. It makes you wonder what's next for Beverly D'Angelo. What other mountains are left for her to climb?
That's a good question. It's hard to say, but I have a feeling she's not done surprising us yet. I mean, she clearly isn't afraid to take risks and explore new territory. I, for one, can't wait to see what she does next.
Me too.
Yeah.
All right, so
Please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Also, check out this fantastic book on Italian-American history. The link is in the video description.
perfect.
It's amazing, isn't it, how much energy she still has.
It really is. And her Italian heritage plays a part in her story, too. We already mentioned that her parents were musicians, but her paternal grandparents were actually both born in Italy.
That's right. Her grandfather, Eugene Constantino D'Angelo, was born in Introdacqua in the province of L'Aquila, Abruzzo. And her grandmother, Pasquarosa Volpe, was born in L'Aquila itself. It adds another layer to her story.
It really does. It kind of highlights those threads of family history and how they sort of weave into a person's life. Those Italian roots, they're a big part of who she is.
Absolutely. And we'll definitely be exploring those connections as we feature more Italian Americans who've made their mark on Hollywood.
Now, we've touched on some of her major roles, but she's done so much more than just Vacation and Coal Miner's Daughter. Take American Dreamer from 1984, where she plays this housewife who wins a trip to Paris and ends up having this wild adventure.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
It sounds right up her alley. I feel like she tends to gravitate towards those characters who you find themselves in these larger-than-life situations.
She makes those characters so relatable. No matter how crazy things get, she always brings this grounded quality to her roles.
Speaking of crazy situations, we can't forget about her role in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I mean, that movie is a holiday staple for so many families.
It really is. And she's kind of the heart of that movie. Amidst all the chaos and craziness, Ellen Griswold is that anchor, the voice of reason. She's the one who keeps the family together.
It's true. It's a testament to her comedic timing, I think, and her ability to find the humor in even the most stressful situations. She can make you laugh out loud one minute and then, bring a tear to your eye the next.
And she's not afraid to tackle darker material, like in Lonely Hearts, where she played the mother of a serial killer. It's a far cry from the comedic roles that she's often known for.
Definitely. It shows that she's not just interested in being typecast. I think she really wants to explore the full spectrum of human emotions, and she's willing to go to some pretty dark places to do it.
It's like she's not just an actress. She's a storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
And she uses her craft to really explore every facet of the human experience, from the hilarious to the heartbreaking.
Exactly. And it's not just movies either. She's had a very successful career in television as well. Remember, she started out in TV back in the 70s, and she's continued to work in that medium throughout her career.
Oh, yeah. She's done everything, from guest spots on popular shows like Entourage to recurring roles in sitcoms like Mom. She clearly enjoys the collaborative nature of television.
It's a different kind of challenge compared to film, I think. With television, you're building a character over time,
Yeah.
often working with the same group of people for, years and years. It requires a different set of skills.
That's a good point. And let's not forget about her music career. We talked about her early days as a backup singer, but she's also released her own music over the years.
Right. It's like another outlet for her creative energy, She's recorded albums in all sorts of different styles. She's shown her versatility as a musician. It's like she has this endless well of creativity and just constantly finding new ways to express it.
She really embodies that idea of a lifelong learner, someone who's always curious, always growing, and she uses her platform to give back, too. We've talked about her advocacy for the arts, but she also supports educational programs.
She seems to really understand the power of education and the importance of nurturing young minds.
Mm-hmm.
It's really inspiring to see someone who's achieved so much success using their influence to try and make a positive impact.
She's a true role model, not just for aspiring artists, but for anyone who, wants to live a life that's filled with passion and purpose. She shows us that it's possible to achieve great things while staying true to yourself.
That's so important. Her story is a great reminder that you don't have to choose between success and integrity. You can have both. And I think that's a powerful message, especially in an industry that can often feel, superficial and cutthroat.
So looking back at her filmography, what really stands out to you about her choices?
I think I'm struck by the variety of roles that she's taken on. I mean, she's played everything from these quirky characters to, dramatic leads, from comedic wives to tough-talking executives.
Right.
It's clear that she's not afraid to challenge herself and step outside of her comfort zone.
She's not afraid to take risks and explore new territory. It's like she's constantly asking herself, what else can I do? What other stories can I tell?
And she's not content to just be a passive participant in the storytelling process, She's an active collaborator. She brings her own unique perspective and experiences to each role that she takes on.
I think it's that willingness to push boundaries and explore new horizons that makes her such a compelling figure. She's not just an actress. She's an artist in the truest sense of the word.
I completely agree. And her journey is far from over. I have a feeling she has many more stories to tell and many more characters to bring to life. And she's always willing to try something new, It's that adventurous spirit that keeps her work fresh. She doesn't shy away from those unexpected roles. In the 1995 crime drama Get Shorty, she played a studio executive.
Yeah.
This tough-talking, no-nonsense character. You wouldn't necessarily think of her for that kind of role, but she just completely owned it.
It's those unexpected choices that really keep audiences guessing. She never lets herself get boxed in. And she has this knack for finding these really interesting independent projects. Like in 2001, she was in High Heels and Lowlifes, playing a London gangster.
I love that movie.
It's a fun one.
It is.
It speaks to her willingness to collaborate with all different kinds of filmmakers on projects of all sizes. She's not just chasing after those big-budget Hollywood productions. She seems to be drawn to good stories, regardless of the scale.
Right, and that shows a real commitment to her craft.
You realize that it's not just about the paycheck for her. There's a real love for the work itself, for the challenge of embodying a character and bringing a story to life.
Yeah, and I think that genuine passion is what really resonates with audiences. You can feel it in her performances. She really connects with the material on a deep level, and that connection translates to the screen. Even when she's playing someone who's, flawed or complicated, she always brings a certain humanity to the role.
It's that human element that makes her so watchable. We might not always agree with her character's choices, but we understand them.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that comes from the honesty that she brings to her work.
Absolutely. So we've talked a lot about her acting, but we can't forget about her musical talents.
Of course not.
She's not just, a singer who acts. She's a true musician. She's recorded blues, rock and roll, all sorts of styles.
She even performed on Broadway back in the late 70s. In the musical Annie. It seems like music is just woven into the very fabric of her life.
It's another way for her to tell stories, to connect with people. It's clear that art in all its forms is such a driving force for her.
And she doesn't keep that passion to herself either. She's a very vocal advocate for the arts, particularly for arts education. She supports these programs that give young people access to those creative outlets.
Yeah.
Especially, those who might not have those opportunities otherwise.
It's really inspiring to see someone who's achieved so much in their own career turning around and using their platform to lift others up. It speaks volumes about her character, about her commitment to making the world a more beautiful and more creative place.
Well, Beverly D'Angelo's journey is a testament to the power of hard work, talent, and a genuine love for what you do. She's shown us that it's possible to achieve success without compromising your values, to remain relevant and exciting for decades, and to always be open to new experiences.
She's a true icon. And her story is a reminder that age is just a number when it comes to pursuing your dreams. As long as you have that passion, that drive, there's really no limit to what you can achieve.
So as we wrap up this episode, I'm left with a feeling of admiration for Beverly D'Angelo. She's a true original, a force of nature, and an inspiration to artists of all ages.
I couldn't agree more.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. But be sure to join us next time as we continue to explore the lives and careers of more incredible Italian Americans in Hollywood.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. You can also check out the link in the description for a fantastic book on Italian American history.
Thanks for listening, everybody.